Race 2 to the wire. Mongolian win takes the 72nd running of the Manitoba Derby. And welcome everybody to ASD Live Kentucky Derby Edition. One of my favorite times of the year. We are going to be handicapping the Kentucky Oaks that does take place on Friday night in race number 11. And then we're going to carry on with the pick six sequence, races 7 through 12 on Saturday. But Stretch, how did you winter? Did you get to see any live racing action?
I did. Let's start with thanks everybody for tuning in. There's a lot of shows out there, so appreciate you checking us out. It's my favorite, like you said, to kick off the season. It's kind of start of the season. You go from now until Breeders' Cup, and we've got ASD in a couple of weeks. Yes, I did make it to some tracks. I happened to be at Santa Anita and saw one of the horses in the Oaks run that day.
Beautiful.
So you'll hear about that one and why maybe I selected it. And Santa Anita was nice. A few other ones. Los Al, the people were extremely nice there too. So looking forward to picking some winners, like you said. Are we ready?
Well, you did the California trip. I was able to go to Sam Houston, make a few wagers there. I took some American money, and then I went over to Phoenix, took a little bit of money there, and then over to Fauner Park to round out my little race trip, and also made some money. So I'm going to try and parlay some of that money into good Kentucky Derby money because there's just so much available. Well, Stretch, let's kick it off with the Oaks. And before that, we know what you love to do. You're the weatherman.
Yes.
What's going to happen?
Let's start.
Is there snow in the forecast?
There is no snow.
Okay. That's a good thing.
It's a tricky, speaking of tricky races, we've got a tricky forecast because it's going to be near the 80 Fahrenheit. But then there's potential showers, some conflicting reports of showers in the morning, maybe a little bit later on. So remember, we are handicapping this for fast and firm. And so with no scratch, there is a scratch in the Derby, but we've accommodated for that one. So kind of pay attention to that. And obviously, if it's off the turf, that changes a lot of our picks. So be ready for that. And like you said, yeah, there's just so much available the next 2 days. Take full advantage of it. For sure.
Oh, no doubt about it. Okay, let's start it off. We are going to start off with the Kentucky Oaks. What a great race this should be. 3-year-old fillies. They're going to tackle the 1 1/8 stretch. Who do you like in here?
Okay, I think it's actually a bit of a match race. I've got it down to 2, even in the big field. And so let's start with I'm going to start with the 8. And the only reason I took this one on top, the horse is a little more proven, is improving in each starts. I liked it, had some solid works. An A- workout is from the report. So that's telling me that the horse is absolutely ready to run. Has run against some smaller fields. So that concerns me a little bit. I do like watching horses run in bigger fields. That's a little more problems and see how they handle it. But the talent is certainly there. Anything to add on the 8 there, Kirt?
Yeah, well, since they took the blinkers off 3 outs ago, it's been 3 wins in a row. Maybe that was something that they toiled around with, but it definitely has worked. And it's amazing how a little equipment change can do so much better. The horse I ended up going to, I went to number 11, Ways and Means. Only 3 lifetime starts. First start, wow, broke the maiden in very impressive fashion, winning by 12 3/4 lengths. Came back in the Spinway, grade 1, right out of a maiden race. And the horse ran absolutely huge, clipping heels early, and the horse just kept on going. That's what you know you have a racehorse. It doesn't just throw in the towel, and it fought to the wire to lose by a half length. Last time out, the horse did have to steady early, so was back in the field, made a little bit of a move to get into contention, battled, and then succumbed to that battle, only losing by a length in the end. But I think Ways and Means will get out a little bit better. Comes in with a stellar workout recently, 46 and 1 for a half mile. So Ways and Means, that's going to be my top play.
Yeah, I agree with you. Could have easily made that my top selection. You mentioned all the key points. It made sense that this horse lost last time after that troubled trip. Needed that one. Think the horse is going to improve. So it's a must include. And that's who I've got it between the two. My third selection, maybe a sentimental one, because I saw this horse. I saw this horse run at
Nothing
Santa.
wrong with sentimental picks, as long as they get in there.
That's true. That day, this horse didn't, but I've noticed that's the 3 horse I'm talking about. Back on December 29th, was in for six furlongs. I thought, okay, maybe the horse could pick up some pieces on that one. Didn't really do that, but I watched the gallop out in that race and saw that the horse does have the ability. I liked the horse last year, and last time went to the lead. I don't think the horse is going to go to the lead this time, but this is one of those figured out how to run, probably sit relative, even if it's 3 or 4 lengths back, could get the jump on a couple of them. It's also a morning line of 15 to 1. So I've got 2 favorites up top. So I'm going to certainly include the 3 in there. So I'm a 8, 11, 3.
Yeah, I like the 8 and 11 quite a bit too. My long shot in here, number 10, Into Champagne. There really isn't a lot of speed in here. There's a lot of stalkers in here, but nobody who really likes the front end. So I think Into Champagne just might be that horse that they're going to let loose and kind of judge the pace for him. And I think might be able to just get free. Julien Leparoux had 2 wins early on, back-to-back. Then got beat by Fiona Magic in the grade 2 at Gulfstream. And then last time battled every step of the way. But I think they might send a little bit harder. And if the horse gets it to the front, gets brave, and just might be able to hang on at a big price. So myself, I'm going to take 11, 10, and 8 and Stretch. What are your 3?
11, 8, or 8, 11, 3. 8, yeah, let's go 8, 11, 3.
All right, perfect. Okay, now we're on to Saturday's race card, and we're going to start at race number 7, kicking off the 20-cent pick 6, ending in the Kentucky Derby. This is the Distaff Turf Mile, the 1-mile event. 4 fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. Stretch. What about this one?
All right, good way to start. Good sequence in the pick 6. I like that it's 20 cents. It opens it up for a few more options. And
Definitely does. If it was $1, which I thought it might be, that my ticket was through the roof to start with.
Yeah, so it gives everybody a chance. You can partner up. I mentioned that the pools are going to be absolutely huge. Take full advantage of that. So we've got a full field of 12. There's a couple alsos in here there is no alsos in there. Okay.
Just 12 of them.
Just 12 of them. So they're yes, just 12 of them. I'm going to start with the 12 horse as my top selection. I actually have this horse. My notes on this horse is a push button horse. What is a push button horse? I call it as when a jockey asks the horse to run and then just goes. And so it doesn't have to wake up the horse a few times. This horse just accelerates and go. And so I think that's what this horse is. I like that race in January, a nice prep in a very tough field. I think if the horse runs very similar to that, certainly can be right there. I'm getting 10 to 1 to kick off the pick 6. So I think you certainly can't leave this horse out. Of note, take the horse. You have to look closely because this horse finished 5th. Chili, the 3, finished 6th. And so if you like the 3, you better like the 12 in this one. I do like the 3 as my second selection. Certainly can win in this. 11 of 17 in the top 2. Has the right running style to go from there. Was 12 what was your top selection?
Well, you know what? I did have the 12 early on, and then I switched to Capiche, the 11. The reason I did that, in Spiral, this horse, well, what can you say about it? Won the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint as the favorite, and this horse ran against it, was 16 to 1 in there. But even the horse that ran second, that horse was winning grade 1s and was tough to beat and only got beat by Inspiral. I don't see a lot of grade 1 type horses in here. So I think Capiche will be a good one. Chad Brown, you can never go wrong betting his horses, as he is a 25% win clips already this year, and it has been higher than that in the past. And even if you look back 4 races ago, Nashua was the winner. Nashua was also the favorite in the Breeders' Cup, ended up running 4th, beating only a couple lengths. So this one has tested cream of the crop style horses, has yet to race this year, but these Euros, when they do come over, they run big their first time out. So that's why I went to the 11 Capiche.
Yeah, that's a fair pick for sure. And I like some real good points I've made note. Back to my second selection is the 3. Just talking about how often this horse was in the top 2, 11 of 17. Has the right running style. And that's the key. I think there's enough pace in here for others to run at. I think it's going to be a fairly run race. And what I mean kind of by that, somebody's probably not going to be able to steal it on the front end and completely change the complex of it. This horse is a solid, Chili Flag has a solid turn of foot. I just really like these type of horses. And then I've got a couple others I'm just going to mention, the 5 and the 6. This horse, I've made some money on this one the last time, kind of figured it out. There was kind of a lull for a few races. This horse does have the talent. And then the improving horse in here is the 6. I'm not a big fan of how this horse, the running style, but I just like the post position last time. Post 10, still managed to get there. If gets the right trip, may outjump my other one. So it's a wide open race for me. Who else do you have to add?
Yeah, I also have Chili Flag for second in here. All the same points as you. I'm looking for a rallier. I think there is a lot of pace in this race to run at. So I had to go to the closers in the field. Chili Flag, you get the leading jockey in the nation in Irad Ortiz. That's never a bad thing. And to go with him, I went to number 2, Walkathon. Last time out, was in a grade 1, wasn't well respected in there, but ran a very even race. I always say that if you're within 5 lengths, you are competitive with those horses. Doesn't matter what the class is. And this horse was only beaten by 5 in the end. The previous start just ran a huge race, but Chili Flag got the bob at the wire. So myself, I'm going to give you 11, 3, and 2. Now we're going to carry on to race number 8. It's the Pat Day Mile. Going that 1 mile distance for 3-year-olds. And this should be an interesting one, Stretch. A lot of good horses in here. It
is interesting, and you're right. Well, we got good horses throughout the card.
Well, these are ones on the Derby Trail that just kind of didn't make it.
That's a great point. Absolutely, if that's the comparison, you're right. And some of them have found the right spot. It is the one. And at Churchill, the mile is 1 turn. So for me, post position doesn't really matter. On the outside horses, you have lots of time to figure out your position if you need it. I think you're going to have a really quick first quarter for sure. We've got some sprinters stretching out in here. The 11 has the 1 start and showed her huge speed. So
did it ever?
Can that horse carry the speed? I'm thinking not. But hey, that horse could be extremely talented. As mentioned, post doesn't matter. That's why I'm on the 12. I think this horse last time got relaxed on the outside, made a nice move, took over, and had so much left. I like what the trainer did here, that he decided, let's not go to the Derby. Let's go to this spot that he has an excellent chance to win the race, should get that stalking trip, make the move, and win it.
Yeah, isn't going to have to run into Track Phantom, who is in the Derby. So I like Nash a lot, too. I like that he's gone over the surface at Churchill Downs and was an easy winner, drawing off to win by 10, is another stalker in the field. So there is some speed to go out. It can take positioning. And the way it ran last time out, couldn't have won that race any easier. I think this horse is definitely right there, ready to go, and the one to beat in the field.
Yeah. And so my second selection is the 8. The key is understanding fractions of the race. This horse last time is running against the Derby contender. Could be the co-favorite in there. And this horse, when I figured out the fractions were like far too quick. This horse had no chance to hang around on just how fast. I think they're going to go back to the 2 starts, the first lifetime start stock. And that's why I had to use this horse if they're going to run it that way. If the horse is a need to lead, I don't think it is, but gets in the duel, then that might not be the ideal situation.
See, and I was looking at that one, and I thought maybe it'll go to the front again. And if it does, the 11 has that blazing speed and showed it out of the gate. So add in Beeline, the 2 horse, who's always been going to the front end. Then you have a lot of stalkers who sit right in behind. So I just see a lot of heat going on. So I went to number 7, Who Day, as a little bit of a long shot. 10-1 morning line, was 4 for 4 coming into that last race, was beaten by a horse who had won 4 out of 5 starts and did beat that's Glengarry. And Glengarry went wire to wire in there, but the horse fought for a good second place finish. I don't think there is going to be a wire to wire horse in here. So I think that was a tightener for Who Day. The horse is making its first start of the year. It's going to move forward. Good work coming in, 47-2. So this is my long shot of the race.
Well, it's my long shot of the race as well. So whether
Any more to add on that?
I do have a couple things. As you called everything, the workouts were the key to this. Has the perfect running style. Basically, you've called everything. The horse had won four races in a row. Yes, they were at maybe a little bit lower level, but it's just the right running style. So agree with your long shot. So I'm 12.87.
And my other add-on is the 11 horse. This could be an anything type of horse. Did duke it out early. There was 4 horses that were across the track just before they hit the quarter mile. It shows that it's ahead by a half a length. And then all of a sudden, the horse just kept running and absolutely destroyed that field. Could be a wonder horse. If they let it go, it just might do what it did last time out. But I'm still going to throw it for third, and I'm going to give you 12, 7, and 11. Now we're going to carry on to race number 9. That's the American Turf. They're going to go 1 mile and a 16th, 4 3-year-olds. Another big field stretch. What about this one?
Yeah, so the big thing here is there are 14, and there are 3 also eligibles that can get in. If there is a scratch, I would maybe take a quick look at the 15, because I think the 15 is one of them, has a small outside shot. I'm not going to select them, but that's just something to make note. We've been burned on that before.
Oh, definitely have.
Yes. And so what I'm going to go with on this one is a bit of a price here, because I think it's a tough race. I'm going with the 11. I like this horse for multiple reasons. We'll start with the big fields that this horse has been in. Was in post 12 last time. Yes, does have 3 seconds, which, you know, I'm not a big fan of that for type of horses. But what happens? They add blinkers on this. And I think that could be the difference for this horse to finish. And so if we can get that, another 10-to-1 shot that I like, I think you're getting the proper value in a wide open race there.
Yeah, my top selection. Well, you put me on Charles Appleby years ago, and he just doesn't disappoint. This Legend of Time is coming off of 3 consecutive victories, has won 4 out of 5 lifetime starts, but I like the way that the horse really drew off to win easily last time out. And even the comments, easily. Yeah, it wasn't testing the $1 million races, the grade 1s, testing the undercards. But when you're beating up horses like that, we've seen the Euros come over, 4 Breeders' Cup races, and they dominate them. So Charles Appleby, he's not here just for fun. So I think him and Dettori, they're hooking up. And as long as you get the right price on this horse, if it's too low, I'm not going to chase it. But if I get the right price, 9-2 or higher, I really like Legend of Time in this race.
I agree. That's my second selection. The only reason I put it second is because the worrisome of the lack of value. That if you can get the right price, this is one of those, make sure you expect the right price, because there are some unknowns. I think potentially could be the top horse in the race. Just make sure you get your price. My third selection would be the 14. It's another one of these that I've kind of bet in the past and hasn't quite disappointed. I just like how this horse can run. And I think this horse can get lost in the shuffle. And the reason I say that is because if you look at the horse's last race, finished 7th on the dirt, but we're running on the turf. Look back at the races on the turf. This puts this horse right in the mix to be somewhere 5-1 morning line. I'd probably want a little bit higher, but I just like that they may not, may forget about this. And before you add your last one, I'll throw in the 13. This horse has talent, not leaving him out. Just like to find trouble in there. And so I've had him a couple times and he finds the trouble, and then it's just, well, an unfortunate racing luck. Go ahead, Kirt.
Yeah, I'm with you on the 14. That's my third selection also. 2 for 2 at Churchill Downs. Anytime they've won at the track, it is an advantage over the other horses. Last 2 races, as you said, Stretch, on the dirt, going back to the turf. And look at those turf races. 2 wins, a second, and a 5th place finish. But it was in the Breeders' Cup, the 5th place finish. And the horse, was it competitive? 2 1/4 lengths. I think very competitive in there. So this is one, if the speed is up front, we'll be flying. My long shot in here, here's my sentimental horse, number 6, Neat. Former trainer here at Assiniboia Downs, Rob Atras, is at the show now, and he is doing very well. He's bringing in a 30% win clip, and Neat ran so big off the layoff last time at Keeneland. What a finish that was. It was just a blanket finish at the wire, but this horse showed speed, fell back, came back on and fought for that win after that layoff. I think the horse is definitely going to move forward off that. And it's hard not to cheer for a local in Robbie Atras. And look at the races. The horse has 4 wins in the last 5 starts. The only blemish, the horse wasn't on the grass. It was a dirt race. If not, would have been 4 for 4 coming into today. So I think Neat can do us proud here in Manitoba, as Robbie Atras already has. So I'm going to give you 5, 6, and 14. Now we're on to race number 10. It's a Churchill Downs, Grade 1, going 7 furlongs. We remember this race from last year. Cody's Wish getting the job done in impressive fashion. No Cody's Wish today. So Stretch, it's a little tougher picking.
It is. At least I'm not going to lose to Cody's Wish, because I tried to beat Cody's Wish last year.
Yeah, I did. And I'm glad I didn't try.
Okay. Always a tricky distance. You're right. Basically, I kind of look for specialists at 7 furlongs, because that extra furlong for the sprinters seem they run out of gas. And then the milers just seem to sometimes get there a little bit late. For me, it's the least favorite race on the card.
I'll agree with you. I had a real tough time with this one.
Yeah, and so I'm completely in the searching mode. And as Kirt just said, he's struggled a little bit with it too. So I'm going to go with the 9. Why? Because I'm going with the horse for the course. Throw out the last race at Aqueduct last time, was in the mud. At Churchill is 7 of 9 and then money. The DRF says 3 wins at 7 furlongs. So it just depends. Some go 7, 7.5, but that's what I've got. I think the horse can get the right trip, gets back on form, how it ran a year or so ago. Let's give it a shot as my top selection.
Yeah, my top selection, I went to the outside in Hoist the Gold. Hoist the Gold ran a really good race last year in this race. Unfortunately, had to run into Cody's Wish, but showed speed. There's a lack of speed in this race. There's horses that could go, but I think Hoist the Gold will for sure head out to the front end. Is coming off a layoff after going across the pond for a race where it didn't do very well. But all the other races were always right there, showing speed, has won at the distance, has done well at Churchill Downs. Both things I like. And I really like that sharp workout again 2 outs ago in 46 and 2. When you're rattling down in 46 over the Churchill surface, you're meaning business. And I think Hoist the Gold, off that second place finish last year, that's why I'm making him my top play.
Okay, that's fair. I went to another price horse at 10 to 1, the 10 horse. Big race 2 back. Take a look at the buyers. They continue to improve. I think there's room for even a little bit more improvement. Has a win at the distance and at Churchill Downs. So just that kind of combination, getting the value, that is my second selection.
Yeah, and Zozos is my second selection, the 6 horse. Also coming in with a nice 5 furlong work into the race. Has won 2 out of 3 at Churchill Downs and does bring some speed to the race. But I don't think it's going to be a cutthroat duel on the front end. I'm liking horses that sit around close and are able to pounce, or if they want to give them the lead, can take the lead all the way around. And I really like the percentage of Brad Cox off a layoff. He's at 32%. That's an insane number off the layoff. And coming off that bad race, I think we'll get a little bit of value in there. So Zozos, my second selection. And I'm going to round it off with number 3, Beau Cruz. Beau Cruz has only started twice this year, does have a win and a 3rd place finish. Last time out at Keeneland, 7 furlongs, sat with the leader, didn't really battle, but just sat there content, went on by in the end to draw off to win by 2 lengths. I think that was the good tightener off the 3rd place finish, beaten only a half a length in the previous start. So I think Beau Cruz is one of those improving horses, but in the 4-year-old campaign this year, he's up against some really tough ones.
Yeah, that's fair. My third selection was the 4. This horse toyed with the field last time out. Had the tightener. You look back, it was a few more at the distance race. That's what's worries me a little bit, but just how that 6 furlong race looked so good, like the horse is ready to go. Has a bunch of Churchill Downs workouts coming in. I think this is sharp. The trainers probably aimed for this one just on the timing of that last race. So I've got it 9, 10, 4. Did include your 6.
Yeah, it almost wins at a 50% win clip, 7 out of 18. So yeah, and myself, I'm going to take 11, 6, and 3. Now we're carrying on to race number 11. It's the Turf Classic Grade 1, a mile and an eighth for the older horses, Stretch, and another big field.
It is a big field. Looking forward to this one. One of these, we're going to see some awesome turn of foot on the turf. They're going the mile and the eighth. And so just watching some of these horses dig in and explode is always exciting, especially.
These are usually the ones where there's 3 to 7 horses at the wire, and you're really sweating coming down the lane.
Of course you are. It's like hoping it's yours, and hopefully mine is the 6 horse in here. I was impressed with this horse's last start. I think that there's more left for this horse to improve after 3rd start off the layoff. I think since turning 4, the light bulb's really gone on, and this horse is just getting better. It's going to sit off the pace. Should get that close late to kind of set him up. So that is a horse that I do like quite a bit to be in there. So 6 is my top selection.
And my top selection, I went to the 11, Naval Power. Here's a horse that knows how to win, won 6 out of 8 starts, ran 2nd last time out after getting a good win off the layoff, but lost to Master of the Seas, who did win the Breeders' Cup rather easily last year. Both of those horses were Charles Appleby horses. You look at it, the horse went off at 6-1. Well, there's a reason, because Master of the Seas was in there. If that horse wasn't in there, I think this horse would have took a pile more money. The way it ran, it kind of got slow out of the gate, but coming down the lane, it absolutely looked dynamite. Without Master of the Seas, it looked like an easy winner in there. I think it sits mid-pack, makes a late charge, and going with Charles Appleby again with the 11.
All right. Let's go to the 4 as my second selection. This horse, really good turn of foot last time out. I think this horse belongs at this level. I think there's going to be even more room to improve. I just like, again, timing it right. Christopher Clement always seems to have a start and then gets a little bit better. The stats are not as high as expected, but he's always in the tough stake races. So it's not like he's beating up on the easy horses. He's found good spots for these horses to try to pick up a big purse. So that's my second selection.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of speed in here. So I took a shot on number 8, Never Surprise. This is a horse that loves trying to steal it on the front end. And it has, and impressively, when it does get that loose and easy lead, this horse is tough to catch. Last year or 2 years ago, this horse was a force to be reckoned with and won 4 races altogether. But lately ran a second beat in a nose in the Appleton. Yes, got beat by 3/4 of a length off a pressured pace. I don't think there's going to be a pressured pace. This horse just might surprise him and go all the way.
Okay, my last one, this is a horse, why you watch replays, it's the 1 horse. This horse is a bit of a troubled trip. You look at the running lines or on the side on the right, it doesn't really say anything. But if you watch the race, especially 2 back, this horse got shuffled out, kind of lost chance and tried to close again. So I had to include this horse. I think hopefully needs a clean trip. Might have to improve, but the figures are there that put this horse right there. 5-1, I think that's fair. I might want a little bit higher, but I just like these ones that too many people jump on troubled trips when they say in the lines and then they get overbet and you don't get the value. This one doesn't say it. Maybe I can sneak some value there.
Yeah, another one I like is Web Slinger. Well, don't expect this horse to be anywhere near the front end, but does come with a late flourish, has been testing the grade 1s for the most part, so I like that part. What I don't like is the lack of pace in this race, but if there is a little bit of horses that want to go, you never know. It doesn't look like the horse has speed, but the jockey says he wants to go. You're going to see horses show speed that never have shown it in their life. So if Web Slinger does get that pace battle up front, has been running at Churchill in the past twice, and both of those were winning trips. This is a horse that you got to hold your breath, though, because if you're going to win it, it's going to be in the last 16th of a mile. So I like Web Slinger as the 3rd horse to round up my top 3, 11, 8, and 7. Now we're going to carry on to the big race. It is the Kentucky Derby, grade 1 event, of course, going 1.25 miles for 3-year-olds. We do have an early scratch. That is number 9, Encino. Drawing in from the also eligibles, number 21, Epic Ride is in. Stretch. Wow, what a race this should be.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting as always. We all know the problems in a 12-horse field that horses get in trouble. Well, now we've got 20 of them. So it's a matter of who gets a dream trip or gets a bit of a lucky trip, or then the absolute reverse. Hopefully we don't have that one where the horse could be the best but gets trapped on the rail, or the wrong type of pace shape doesn't help. So you certainly need racing luck to pick to cash a ticket in here.
You need gate luck too.
And gate luck, absolutely. I think there's going to be a fast pace early in here. You know, the one horse along the rail has to go, because if this horse doesn't go, it's going to be bottled up, and this horse hasn't shown that it can come off the pace. We know that one's going. We got the 12 adds blinkers. That horse is always on the lead. For sure. And then now let's go to the likely favorite or the co-favorite. That's the 17. Now, 17 is not my top selection. It's actually not even listed in my top 3 selections.
I agree, not with mine either.
And so just a couple things that concern me about this one. Last race, this horse got the lead.
Easily, actually.
Control of the correct.
Yeah.
And so now it just looks even better. I think that the form looks better than the race actually was. And so I don't think this horse is going to be able to control it. The key on my notes 2 back on this horse was this horse doesn't handle trouble very well. Broke a couple times poorly. There is no excuse for that horse not to get kind of second 2 back. So if this horse doesn't get his own way, gets mud in the face, not sure. I just haven't. If this horse gets the lead, it's going to make us look silly once again.
No doubt about it.
And run off and hide. I can't back a horse that you need a good trip to win it in a field of 20. Better find some value. And so my top selection is the 4. And the reason, because this horse continues to improve. Ran in a 1 mile and 3/16 last time. I really like that part on it. That's going to help out a lot. Is going to be farther back. Going to need some racing luck. I just liked how this horse, the jockey, handled this horse, sat back, pushed the button, circled the field on the outside, which is on the turn, so it did lose lengths. So it did run even longer than 1 mile and 3/16.
And it even lost lengths out of the starting gate because it broke slow.
That's true. Exactly. Also do like that the horse has been in 11 and 12 field sizes. That makes it tough too. So that's my top selection in the Derby. Won't be my only one, but that's where I'm starting.
And mine, I went to number 8, Just a Touch. Well, I did pick Mage last year.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
But this horse is reminiscent of Mage. First time out, was a winner. Comes back, run the big race, stretching out in distance over a sloppy track. So the horse had a little bit of an excuse there. Then comes back against one of the favorites in the Derby, Sierra Leone. Went up, did all the dirty work, had the lead, and then Sierra Leone came on the outside, swooped on by. But this is a horse that looks like it's improving every start. The numbers are jumping by 6. And I really like when horses do that. And that's why Mage was such a good play for me last year. 10-1 morning line today. I don't think this horse will be on the front end, but they will get it out of the gate, get it into positioning. If the horse sits about 6th or 7th, I think that is the winning play. And that's why I'm taking a shot on Just a Touch.
Sounds good. My second selection, this is a rare for me. I'm taking an Invader from Japan. I think these horses are getting better over the years.
Wow, are they ever?
And I just think there's a top effort. I don't want to miss out on when one of these win at 10-1. Also ran at 1 mile and 3/16. Right running style. I think that's the right price at 10-1. I don't think there's any world beaters in here yet.
I agree.
And so that might prove us wrong, and somebody might run off and hide in here, and then so be it. And then we'll jump on board. But that's why I had to go to a bit of an unknown there.
Yeah, I looked at this horse. Last year, we had Dermo Sotogaki. That was the Japanese horse that they were betting, and the horse got a rough trip in there. But I watched this race that Forever Young ran last time out. It ran a great race. But then I looked at the horse that ran second. It's ran second 3 consecutive times now and didn't fight late down the lane. I didn't like that because I would have liked to see a horse that always fights and really made this horse work. I don't know what this horse is all about. Can I leave him right out? No. I have to throw him in for a little piece somewhere, as those Japanese horses came out of nowhere in the last 3-4 years and have showed the breeding program has gone through the roof there after being subpar. So Forever Young, couple knocks against it, but hard to knock a horse that is undefeated. My second selection, I had to go to number 2, Sierra Leone. I think there is going to be a pace in here. And if there is, well, you got to look at the closers. And Sierra Leone has done nothing wrong. Closed like a freight train in the last 2 races. Did beat my top selection last time out, going by late. And in the previous start, beat Track Phantom and Catching Freedom on the far outside, making that big rally once again. But with all the pace that's in, I think Sierra Leone's going to run a huge race. But I just can't get it on the win price. But this would be a big place play for me.
Yeah, that's a good call. I have this horse in the mix, kind of my 3rd, 4th pick. I'm worried a little bit about the troubled and then the lack of value, but I completely agree with you. That might be a place or a show bet for me, whereas the 17 is either a win or a nothing bet for me.
Exactly. And the 17 hole, well, how many times has it won the Kentucky Derby? 0.
Now,
Over.
He's now in post 16, though.
Oh, that is true.
But good. That was good added info.
I tried.
They were happy that the 17, somebody got scratched, so they didn't have to hear that. I will mention one more. The 7 horse didn't look quite as good as my top selection. It did lose, but to him last time out, but went the distance. I think there's room for this horse to improve. We've seen it at 3-year-olds that horses just take a little bit longer, and maybe at 20-1, maybe this is the big upset. Has some nice works at Churchill Downs, has won at Churchill Downs twice. So 20 wouldn't be a complete shocker for me if this horse was right there. So I'm going to go 4, 11, 7, 2.
Well, not a shocker to me either, because I have Anna Marie in 3rd also. I like the same reasons you do. I want a closer in here. Plain and simple. I want someone off the pace, not on the front end. So Anna Marie has that same running style as Catching Freedom, Sierra Leone, but I think it's just improving with every start. And that buyer number just stood out, 96 last time out. So another horse that's on the improve. You want to try and tag those ones. So hopefully the 7 can round out my top 3 of 8, 2, and 7. Okay, let's go to our tickets. Race 11, the Kentucky Oaks. I'm going to do a $10 daily double of the Oaks Kentucky Derby. I'm going to take the 11 in the Oaks with the 2, 7, and 8 in the Derby. $10 wheel, that's going to cost $30.
Yeah, that's a good bet. I'm going to just keep it on the Friday and do a $5 exactor wheel, 8-11 with 3 8-11. And that's $20 or $4 for $1.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it. Let's get to the next race.
Okay. Okay, on to our Derby picks. Race number 7. I'm going to start off with the pick 6. I'm going to do a little small 20-cent pick 6. I'm going to take the 2, 3, 11 with the 7, 11, 12, with the 5, 6, 14, with the 3, 6, 11, then key just the 11, and in the Derby, the 2, 7, 8, total cost $48.60.
Okay, my selection, race 7 to kick it off on the Saturday. Don't forget to watch the pre-races, but I'm going to go $10 to win on 12, 20 place on the 12. Got extra money, Kurt, so we're going to do a
seems like it.
$5.
You always do.
$5 exactor wheel, 312 with 3, 5, 6, 12.
Are you making this a stretch show again?
It's about stretch right now.
Okay. On to race number 8. I'm going to have myself a $5 exactor box, 7, 11, and 12 for a cost of $30.
Interesting. My selection is only a $4 exactor box, saving some money for later on. 7, 8, and 12. Total cost $24.
Race number 9. I'm just going to do a simple one, 30 to place on the 6.
That is a simple bet, Kurt. I'm going to do a 60-cent pick 4. It's not my favorite combo because I don't have any keys. I just got to be a bit of racing luck. Let's go 5, 11, 14 with 4, 9, 10, 11 with 1, 4, 6 with 2, 4, 7, 11.
Race number 10, I'm going after the pick 3. I'm going to do a $2 pick 3. I'm going to take 3, 6, 11. Then I'm going to take 8 and 11 and then round it out in the Derby with 2, 7, and 8 for a cost of $18.
Okay, this is another new one. If you've watched the show more often than not, I'm going to do a $1 try box. 4, 6, 9, 10, 11. Total 60.
Race number 11, I'm going to do a $3 triactor wheel. I'm going to take the 11 on top, the 7, 8 for second, round it off with 1, 4, 6, 7, 8 for third. Total cost, $24.
All right, Kurt, you might want to add a few of mine here.
No, I don't.
$1 try. I'm going to do a try wheel because they're more of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I got a wheel going on too.
Okay, 4, 6, 11 with 1, 4, 6, 11 with 1, 4, 5, 6, 11. It's a triangle.
Yeah, I need a calculator for that one.
All right.
Okay, on to the Derby, race number 12. I'm going to go 20 to win and 20 to place on number 8, Just a Touch.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to have all my other bets going into that.
That's true. That's true. We're going to make it a match bet. We'll discuss what you owe after my horse comes in, and that's the 4. So we're going to go $10 to win on the 4, 20 to place on the 4, and let's have an exactor box because built up throughout the day, and that exactor box is going to be just a $2 exactor box. 2, 4, 7, 11. Total bet, 24 on that one.
And good luck with all your Derby selections and all your selections at any other racetracks you are playing. If you're going in Kentucky or anywhere else, may the racing gods be with you.